Hola, 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 hola. ¿Cómo estás? What is up, everybody? Adam Lefkoe here.
Gracias,
Muy
y
bien. Y tú, y usted, because I respect you.
Great. Josh is already like,
Josh
oh my
is
gosh.
already making notes that he's going to have
You're
to
not
edit.
allowed to speak Spanish on a podcast?
It is episode 133. Of course, you know Big Phil's coming back in. Sims legitimately
I don't want to
asked
sit in the middle.
for Josh to sit in the middle just so he can beat him up. It's 133. Josh, do you have any 33s for
I
us?
do happen to have a 33. You guys might remember him from the Rutgers, Illinois Big Ten basketball game this past season. He happened to hit a buzzer-beating three-point shot to take down the Fighting Illini. His name is Deshaun Freeman.
Oh,
he
of
is
course.
a senior this year at Rutgers. But Adam, you know today is a special day.
Do I?
Today is not about the number 33.
No?
It is about the number 35.
I don't know what
because
you're talking
tonight is
about.
the premiere of season 35 of Survivor.
Oh,
Which
I know.
means next week we are back to the Survivor recap segments. Chris, I know those are your favorites. I'm going to hit you now. So we'll bring that back next week. So just keep an eye out for that.
Where is Survivor?
Is it 133 or 34?
It's 133.
Okay, good.
Last week was 32. Wait, where is Survivor?
I think it's in Fiji, and the theme is heroes, healers, and hustlers. So I had my fantasy Survivor draft last night.
Okay,
I'll
that's
be
enough.
revealing who I
Awesome.
have next week.
I don't know.
Am I done? Should I keep going?
No, that was good.
Okay.
I've
good.
tuned you out.
All right, 33, Sims. Who do you got?
33. Gosh. Magic Johnson in
Nope.
college.
Okay.
Yes, I'm right. Larry Bird. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Shaquille O'Neal.
Never heard of him.
No, Shaquille O'Neal was 32.
No, he wore 33 at some point. I think
No,
he
he
might have been
didn't.
in college. No, 33? Okay,
No.
fine. All right, I'm going to keep going now. Roger Craig, Tony Dorsett.
Yep.
Jamal Adams right now in
Yep.
the NFL. His father, George Adams, 33.
Good for you.
Let me just think if there's any other good ones. I know I'm missing a lot because 33 is a popular. Are you sure Shaquille O'Neal didn't wear 33 at LSU?
At LSU. I didn't look at college.
Bam!
All right, so current running backs, it's an okay group. Kerwin Williams, Robert Turbin, Chris Ivory, Dalvin Cook, Deion Lewis, DeAndre Washington. Defensive backs, Colt Anderson, Chidobe Awuzie, Trey Boston, Jamal Adams, as you said. Your other guy, Rashard Robinson. And then my favorite name in the NFL, I think, is Bleedy Ray Wilson.
Yep.
All right, so in terms of all time, there are three great names. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, not only in basketball, but the running back for Miami
Oh, yeah.
also wore 33.
Right.
And then in the 60s, there was a running back named Cannonball Butler and then a running back named Billy Cannon. And I just thought that was funny. The all-time worker backs, Keith Harmon, Dominique Rhodes, Michael the Burner Turner, and Gary Brown, the running back. Some defensive backs all-time, Tyvin Branch, Michael Griffin, your guy,
Yep.
and Charles Tillman. Three really good fullbacks, William Henderson,
Right.
Greg Jones, who was a running back fullback who
Florida State
YouTube
beast.
Greg Jones, Florida State, and he just killed people. And Merrill Hodge, the factor back.
Ooh.
A seal here, a seal there, a lane here. And then the three best, you named two of them, Roger Craig, Tony Dorsett, and I would put Kevin Falk above the rest there. NBA, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Larry Bird, Antonio Davis, Patrick Ewing, Mark Gasol, Grant Hill, Alonzo Mourning, Scottie Pippen.
Damn.
And then Robert Covington of your current Philadelphia 76ers. And then my dad's pro player comparison,
My dad.
Hersey Hawkins, wore number 33.
Chocolate Thunder.
No, that's not who that was.
That was the.
that was Darryl
Darryl
Dawkins. Close. Quick question for you. Two guys returned from suspension this week, Vontaze Burfict and
Ooh.
Willie Snead.
Right.
Which one matters more?
The Willie Snead.
Really?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I mean, Burfict's really good. The Bengals' defense is really good. I can't overstate that enough. It's a really good unit. They don't have a lot of help from their offense. No, Willie Snead is what the Saints have been missing. In the first 2 weeks, it was huge blows to them. There's nobody that scares you down the field. Teddy Ginn to a degree, but he's really not an every down receiver, so they can't always put him on the field. Willie Snead's their best receiver, period, for my money.
Over Michael Thomas.
Yes, Willie Snead does more for that offense. Michael Thomas, more times or not, gets the outside. We're going to throw you to you when you're covered. He's limited to what he can do in the slot. Snead's the reason they got rid of Brandon Cooks. I mean, that's because he's the guy that
All right,
they can do a
that's
lot of
huge.
different stuff. So yeah, I don't even know. Like I said, I don't even know who's playing next week yet.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
But I also know that Teron Armstead got back to practice.
That'll be big,
so
too.
that's a huge little development there for the
Right.
whole Saints. It is Constitution time.
Hey.
Lito Quirky's been absolutely killing it for us. He's given us the first 6 amendments. Rodgers is the greatest quarterback of all time. Kyle Shanahan, beans not beef. Coaches must scheme for players, not rely on talents, legs and ass. And we are the Players First podcast. We have 3 new articles, new sections of Article 3 going in this week. And I want to give a shout out to Philip Cook and Mr. Jasko tweeted us. They are thrilled that they are being put into the Constitution.
Thank you for your contributions.
You need to thank Lito Quirky who wrote it up. Let us begin Article 3. Article 3.
Kid can't even read.
I'm waiting. I want that funky music.
Oh, thanks, producer Josh. You're so...
Give us a little music.
Please.
Article 3, Section 1. If you're a pigeon-toed person and have made it to college without busting your face open every 2 months, you're probably a really good athlete. We at the Sims and Lefkoe podcast wholeheartedly support this connection. When your own feet don't even know which direction they're going, the defenders definitely won't either. And you'll always keep on your super athletic yet extremely confused toes. All those years walking around like a drunk toddler have finally paid off. Congratulations, pigeon-toed athlete. Section 2. Phil Simms belongs in the Hall of Fame. Phil Simms is the Tom Hanks of football. We all grew up watching and appreciating him, and even after stop playing, we respect the man immensely. He is the godfather of modern football and a football father figure to most, because when he talks, we shut the fuck up and listen.
And he's actually my father.
He's actually your father. You may not always like what he has to say, but most of the time you'll discover he's correct. When a 2-time Pro Bowler, 2-time Super Bowl champ with a Super Bowl MVP under his belt, quarterback who set the record for highest completion percentage in the Super Bowl at 88% and spent his 14-year career with one franchise isn't in the Hall.
15-year career.
15-year. We feel there's a great injustice somewhere, and that should be corrected. If you're going to put writers and owners in the Hall of Fame, let's make sure we have the right players first, and then we'll worry about giving it any Tom, Dick, and Jerry their participation trophy. Put Phil in the Hall of Fame.
Wow. It goes on a ton, that though. The whole, the career. Do you ever notice that people can never do that?
What?
They can never add. They think it's addition, a career. They go, 79 to 93. Well, 79. No,
Yes.
79 counts. It was a year that he actually played.
All right, back to the Constitution. Article 3, Section 3. Football fields are for football players. No longer shall we stand idly by while players get harmed doing their jobs because you want it to be anything other than the one thing it should be, grass. When owners trying to bring their business mindset to the football fields and make it multi-purpose, we say fuck you, respect the game and the players. If you want other things happening on the field, just remember, it's a football field, not a concert venue or a temporary soccer field. We don't give a shit if it makes it easier for artists to set up their pyrotechnics and jumbotrons. If that's important to you, then invest in another building. Until then, keep your money-grubbing hands off the sanctity that is a football field.
I think that's my favorite one.
Incredible timing. I mean, you nailed the end of the track there.
Lito Quirky continues to absolutely dominate. We
Way to
now
go,
have
Lito.
9 in. 7, 8, 9. Pigeon-toed. Phil Simms belongs in the Hall of Fame. And turf is bad for NFL players' knees. I'm going to bring in a quick out-of-Lefkoe Field question.
Please.
If the Constitution doesn't like turf, what do we say about the greatest show on turf?
I don't know. That's a good
The
question.
Rams were one of the best offensive teams of all time, and we don't like turf, and we don't like turf.
Yes.
What do you say, Sims?
Man.
There are always outliers.
Yes, you're
Okay.
right.
There's always outliers.
I mean,
Because I watched the football
they
life.
were the greatest show on turf. There's all we can say. They were playing on turf at that time. I don't know.
Does that not count for other football teams?
No, it doesn't. What we're saying is we just like the greedy fucking owners to
Yes.
back off on the field turf crap, okay? So they can make more millions and hundreds of millions.
We have a lot of submissions for new amendments this week. I'm going to try and go by quick. We're going to go through. Jets Joe 73, who we as a group thought may have been Joe Klecko.
I did.
It's not. We checked. He wants to put in betting over fandom. Betting over fandom.
Betting over fandom.
That who you bet on is
Yeah.
more important than your fan of a team.
Oh, well, it definitely is for you. We know that.
I'm actually going to go nay here.
I think I'm going to go say nay, too. It's not enough of our staple quite yet.
I agree. Thank you, though, Joe. PJ Green. Only listen to analysts who watch film and have a good track record.
that stands true, but it's yet not. I don't think still enough of a staple of what we talk about on a random basis.
I agree, PJ. Thank you, though. Tom McCulligan, and this is agreed on by APET96. Adam shall never let Chris finish a sentence.
This is an easy one in my book.
We should make it. Or?
Oh, I mean, come on. This is the longest standing podcast staple.
I think it is. It really is. So you probably should just go ahead and make it part of it.
I'm going yay as well.
Yes.
Give me a little volume, Steinmetz.
That is part of our podcast from the motherfucking first one.
It really is. That means, congratulations, Tom McCulligan. Adam shall never let Chris finish a sentence is officially in the podcast constitution.
I mean, I seriously think Adam looks at me sometimes
So then
when I'm
anyway,
talking. When I talk sometimes, I swear he looks at me like, oh, God, you want to say something? Fine. Okay. I guess how he looks at me
No,
sometimes.
what really is I've been around you for so long, I know where it's going, and I go, in my head, I know what point he's going to make, and damn it. Soren Rhett, we shall not judge a player by anything other than his film and build.
Yeah, no, not yet. It's not there yet, but it's a good thought regardless.
Yeah, sometimes I think we do that,
yes,
but we miss on the other stuff, like the intangibles that we're not privy to when we're doing scouting and stuff.
Yes.
Colin Crilly, Fendrick is the best punching bag at Bleacher Report.
Here.
I mean, do we have to do this? Do
I
we have to do this?
I am actually going to say nay.
Yeah.
Because he is our punching bag.
Right. Yes.
But there's plenty of others around this office.
Pumping
yeah, you're right. It is. We didn't have to clarify that.
Thanks,
but, man,
guys.
I'm so glad you're in the middle.
All right.
Coleman Imhoff, run pass options are for the birds. Also goes with, you can only trick them and dick them so much.
Oh, they're good ones, but still, I don't think we've gotten into that enough yet. I mean, that's been a recent thing. I don't think it's constitutional worthy.
I'm in agreement with you completely right now. Sean Bennett, coaches from the Belichick coaching tree shall be held to a higher standard when it comes to clock management.
Ooh, very true again, but I don't think we visited that subject enough either. That's still amazing with Bill O'Brien. I just watched that back just a little while ago. I mean, I don't know what.
That bad?
Oh, my God. I just don't know what they were thinking.
Yeah.
I really don't. It's unbelievable. That game was amazing to watch on film.
Anthony, Matt Sims should be on an NFL roster.
Well, that is true, but that's not part of the Constitution. It's just, sorry.
Sims is ruling with an iron fist today, and I can't
It's
disagree
good.
with him.
It's good.
Anthony Hamp, when life gives you lemons, save them for the podcast, which I'm taking as save it for the podcast.
Right.
I mean, that really should be. I really think that should actually be
So
it.
this one is when you have an idea, save it for the podcast.
Don't talk to me about it in
and
the
I'm
hallway.
going to be honest, fuck yes. Congratulations, Anthony Hamp. When life gives you lemons, save it for the podcast.
We gotta figure out a way to better phrase that, right?
Well, that's what Lito's job is.
Lito, so it's whenever you have a good idea, don't talk to each other, don't bring it up. Literally save it for the podcast. You did it to Big Phil last week.
I had to do it to him today again because he wanted to, I told him we were going to call him and he was, like I told you, everything that he thinks on the internet's a rant. So he's like, I can't rant again. And I was like, Dad, it's like a radio show, except we could say whatever we want. And he was like, oh, okay.
No, so he thinks because CBS, all of his topics have to be rant topics.
Right. And then he's seen some of my rant videos in the past, so I think he thinks that's the internet. Like, ranting is the internet.
That's amazing. We're going to ask him that in a second. Thomas Moore, being tall and white does not a starting quarterback make. So just because you're tall and white doesn't make you a starting quarterback.
I mean, that's a good thought. I don't know. I mean, it is something we've talked about a lot, especially the really tall ones, but I don't think we could put that in Constitution.
I agree. Mark Bagent.
Oh.
We shall always self-scout and shall never be closed off to other opinions or viewpoints unless said viewpoints violate Article 1. Article 1, Aaron Rodgers is the greatest quarterback of all time. So we should always be open to self-scout and never closed off to other opinions unless that opinions is Rodgers is not the best quarterback of all time.
Well, I mean, I like the self-scouting part. I don't know about the second part of it, so I can't say that's
that we should never, or We should never be closed off to other opinions?
Well, yeah, we should never be closed off to other.
That says we should just be open to all opinions.
Yeah,
But there are some opinions out there that you're not willing to be open
exactly to. I think
I
yes.
am going to say yay.
Right.
We are always going to be open to opinions. It doesn't mean that we have to adopt them, but I would like to be a podcast that's willing to listen.
Yes, I would agree with that.
So that's what I took the second part of that.
So you're saying yay,
I'm saying yay that
and
we
I'm saying nay.
I'm
And
saying
I am
that,
going
Oh,
to break the tie
okay.
with a little bit of music. I'm going to side with Lefkoe on that one.
You are?
I'll listen to someone else talk. I might tell them that they're wrong immediately afterwards.
The
or
big,
I might,
Okay,
the big
okay.
thing for me is we shall always self-scout. That's what I want to focus on.
I got that, and I don't mean to I don't. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know what. I guess I got lost in the
you
second
can
half of that
self-scout
part of
yourself right now.
it. Yeah, no, we're fine. Add it in there.
Okay, and the last one, this is from iTunes.
But he's saying, so we'll listen to anybody unless they say Aaron Rodgers is the greatest
Yes.
quarterback. Okay, I get it now. All right.
Okay.
All right.
You like that one?
Jack
that's better.
Schneider in iTunes. Having a whoa big off season does not always equal whoa big actual season.
That is, again, that just became a thing on our podcast. So
Okay.
I don't think it's constitutional worthy yet.
Yeah, and I think that's the point of whoa big off season is that it's a joke. Like they're not really gonna have this doesn't like trend to it being good.
No, like you were. Yes, it was more about. It started right when we had no news to talk about, and you're like, "Whoa, here's a big story that's not really that big."
Whoa, he's gone vegan. Yeah, exactly. All right, but awesome job from everybody. I think they were all great. But a special shout out to Tom McCulligan, Anthony Hamp, and Mark Bajent. We are now going to be having Adam Never Lets Chris finish a sentence. Save it for the podcast, and we shall always self-scout unless you don't think that Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback. I think all three are
Yeah,
good.
they're pretty good. You're right.
Congratulations to
Thanks,
all.
everybody.
Lido Quirky, you have work to do.
Do it.
It was our Second Amendment. Kyle Shanahan is our favorite coach in the NFL, and I always have to bring in one Kyle Shanahan quote.
Yep.
When asked about the late offensive pass interference call on Trent Taylor, Kyle Shanahan responded, "I saw a very good route."
Respended. That's a new word. Respended.
I don't know what I said.
Yeah, but
He said, "I saw a very good route."
it was a good route.
Was it pass interference?
No, you never call that. I think that there's two calls that stand out to me this weekend that were, absolutely fucking ridiculous, and that would be one of them,
And then the Von Miller.
without a doubt. Which I'm so glad that like Dean Blandino and them came out too and said it should never be called, not at all. But he really ran a perfect route. He gave a little shoulder shrug because the guy was leaning on him. He did not extend his arm. Bad call all the way.
On
And you don't
3rd and 9.
You don't call that at that point in the game. You just don't. I'm sorry. Unless it was totally egregious and you got open only because of like extending the arm and totally pushing away. That was a bad call.
All right, let's do some self-scouting. First up, a lot of people hit me up and said that Carl Lawson did not go up against David Bakhtiari. He
Right.
didn't even play. It was actually a backup named Kyle Murphy.
64, right.
I apologize.
Right.
He was still freaking awesome. Carl Lawson was a beast. Another good question.
Yeah.
When are the tackles going to get back for the Packers?
Yeah, I
'Cause
don't
that's
know.
huge.
I think Bakhtiari, I think they're hoping is back. Let's see. Bakhtiari who's got the hamstring issue?
Is it Bulaga?
Balaga has the hamstring issue. I think one of them was practicing or went through the walkthrough. They're going to be close to both being able to play
Yes.
this week.
The other self-scouting we need to do is, so we upset Falcons fans for a while. They've quieted down.
Yeah.
Now the fan base that's upset at us is the Rams fan. Let me go to iTunes here. This is from C. Dayan, great podcast. Carlos Dayan. I live in Mexico City, been a huge fan since episode 21. They said we should bring back Guaranteed to Lose. We do Guaranteed to Lose at the end of our Friday podcast when we do pick 'em, so check that out. I really think you guys leave out the Rams in most podcasts. They are showing promise and lead the league in scoring. And then another person came at us. Los Angeles Rob, how about Goff? I love your show. Sims is the best analyst online. But also, what do you think about Goff? He's still got some kinks to work out because he drifts away from pressure, but he's playing really good. He's got a live arm. And he also said, I'm so happy that Lefkoe isn't Craig Carton because I always imagine him talking with Sims. Congratulations. Thank you very much. Okay, so we have been neglecting the Rams.
Yeah, I know. I think a part of it was because it was a Thursday night game last week.
makes it
too.
hard,
You know,
yeah.
it hurts us to be able to talk about it on Monday. things are going in the right direction with the Rams. I don't think there's any question about that. Yeah, they're leading the league in scoring. I get that. I was, week 1, of course, I still wasn't sure what the Rams were. It was against the Colts, so I was just careful about how I evaluated them. Week 2, they did play the Washington Redskins solid. And really had a chance to win the game at certain points.
Yeah, the Goff interception made it kind of tough.
Goff interception closed the door, and really one of the plays before that really even hurt more than that. If you remember, at the end of the game, Goff escapes the pocket to the right. He throws a ball into the back of the end zone to Robert Woods, and Woods was open, and he should have caught the ball, but he was running, and Goff threw a knuckler duck, and the ball literally curved. I could show it to you on film, and it made it a very hard catch.
How about this Niners game?
The Niners game, he was the best game of his career, hands down. I don't think it's not even close. A lot of big time throws. The one thing I was really
Sammy Watkins' throw was fantastic.
Sammy Watkins' throws were fantastic. I mean, some of the Robert Woods throws. He threw the ball. I mean, again, I'm not saying he's even in the class of Carson Wentz at this point, but he's going in the right direction. And just look at him compared to Brian Hoyer. I mean,
he's
capable of making more plays than Brian Hoyer. And the other thing that I think I was more impressed with than anything is just he answered the bell. That was the first time we saw we're up in the big lead. Oh, wait. It's back to a close game. I got to perform again and drive the team down. He did that. I mean, McVay is awesome. That
McVay is kicking. What did you think about? We didn't get to talk about this.
Yeah.
McVay, when the defense was on the field,
just gonna bring this
sat
up.
on the Gatorade cooler and worked on the offense.
Right.
And what it made me think of all the times we talk about coordinators get the head coaching job and then give up that resposibility.
Yes.
I love that.
Love it. You have Wade Phillips, your D coordinator,
to coach the defense.
Right? And if there's something that
I almost want Kyle to do that.
Yeah, I know. I do wonder if this will catch on a little bit through NFL teams and especially head coaches who are offensive coordinators. Well, they just take a few moments to go, I'm going to regain my thoughts here. And how are they attacking me? Because that's a really big problem. If you're a good offensive play caller, you're taking note of when I got up in this formation, they played this coverage. When it was this down, man, so far they've only played this coverage on second down.
You're looking at tendencies and matchups.
You're looking at tendencies and going, what are they trying to do to us? Right. What's their plan for the game right now? And I thought it was brilliant. And the biggest thing is takes balls. I mean, here he is a young coach, and he's going, you know what? I'm not going to stand there and be Johnny head coach. And
I think he's literally younger than me.
He's 31.
And I'm 31 as
well.
Right,
so you're close. But
I think we always talk about not having too much ego in this job.
Yes.
And his ability to be really good at it.
Right.
And then I read also that with the whole protest, he stood up in front of the team and said, we're going to figure this out now.
Right.
Because we need to be prepared for everything.
Yes, right.
And the team loves him right now.
He's an impressive dude, man. When you meet him,
you know what? Good for the Rams. Yeah. I'm happy.
Right.
It sucks that their attendance apparently is going to break historic records of a decline from year 1 to year 2 in the city.
Yep.
But getting Wade Phillips was the right decision.
It was.
And then going out this offseason, props to Snead, all the weapons they had.
Yeah, they supported Jared Goff.
Yes.
They realized, we
and Aaron Donald's a freaking beast.
Oh, my gosh. I'm amazed by Aaron Donald. I really am. And I think that's, again, Aaron Donald, to be able to do that 10 days after you started this, I mean, just speaks to what a freak of nature he is. Because speaking as a wimpy quarterback, I would be like, man, I've only had 10 days. I don't feel comfortable going out there yet.
On the 2 Thursday and Monday night games, him and DeMarcus Lawrence, both really, really impressive.
Yes.
At the same time, Jared Valdir, what the hell were you doing?
Well, the offensive line for the Cardinals is a disgrace, okay? And really, when you really look at them, and we always talk about legs and ass.
They ain't got nothing.
They got nothing. They all have.
They got what I call a flat back.
Well, they all have what I always call the older offensive lineman guys. This is the first thing I've always noticed when I was around the NFL, even when I was working with the Patriots. I think I've told this story with Dan Copen, the great center that was there in their first 3 Super Bowls. He was hanging on by a thread. But, yeah, guys always lose their ass and legs at a certain point in their career.
Why do you think that is physiologically?
I think physiologically that basically it's just one of those things where they were naturally gifted in that area in their prime years, right?
So they didn't have to do a lot of squats.
They didn't really have to do squats and things like that. And now they're at the age where they're going, man, I'm old. I don't want to be going in there and doing 350 on my back and 400 pounds and squatting.
Gravity takes over. Everything starts to drop.
It just starts to lose its muscle mass, too. Yeah.
So speaking of awesome things.
Yes.
We have been calling Tarik Cohen the Mensch all season, and I love the nickname. It really makes me happy. And on Monday's show, we were doing a video about the duo of Jordan Howard and Tarik Cohen. Well, wouldn't you know it, Tarik Cohen was asked about the duo this week, and he said, I think of us as thunder and lightning. Hard stop.
Right.
Way too many Thunder and Lightnings out there. What was the name for the ones that you played with?
Smash and Dash.
Smash and Dash.
Smash and Dash, and then Thunder. Well, so and the funniest thing
There's
of
been
that
a million Thunder and Lightnings.
D'Angelo Williams and Stewart that year.
Yes.
Also tried to piggyback off of CJ
And do Smash and Dash.
and Lendell White had the ultimate comeback when he heard about it. He goes, more like fraud and fraudulent. And it was, I mean, that's how awesome Lendell White was.
So what I did was I went, look, the mensch is sticking.
Right.
We need to think of our own nickname for this duo because Thunder and Lightning is bullshit. Like, it's just too common. It's great, quick, and loud.
I got one.
All right.
Right off the bat. Just came into my head.
All right. So
The mensch and the henchman.
All
The
right.
henchman
So
and the
hench-
henchman.
The mensch and the hench.
Right.
Okay. I have a few here. First up, I think that I'm going to go deep here. There is a U.S. district judge
Oh my God.
named Mark Howard Cohen, Jordan Howard Tarik Cohen. He's a U.S. district judge, so we could call them the judge and the jury. Not
Ooh,
bad.
okay.
Howard Cosell's birth name was Howard Cohen. Jordan Howard Tarik
Right.
Cohen. We can call them ladies and gentlemen.
Have we had the law firm? I mean, is there a law firm? Like, because Howard and Cohen could sound like
That
law
is pretty
firm.
good.
They could also be called the deli.
The deli.
I didn't even think about that.
Why?
The deli, Howard and Cohen, so you get your lox and your pastrami and your
Really?
your rye bread.
But do they really have a deli in that name?
I'm sure.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
sure there's one anywhere. But in terms of the mensch,
I'm sure somewhere in America.
in terms of the mensch, there's the mensch and the stench.
Ooh.
There's the mensch and the wrench, and then the one that I'm going to vote for,
Right.
which is the mensch and the bench, as in like bench press.
Right.
Mensch and the bench.
I like the law firm. I thought that was pretty good.
The law firm, Howard and
So you don't like the menschman and the henchman?
I mean, it's good. It's just a little tough,
okay.
but it's good.
Howard and Cohen.
Howard and Cohen. They'll just call it the law firm?
Yeah, I don't know. I want to keep the mensch in there.
You can put it out to the Twitter followers, see
You
what
can
they
call
think.
it mention bench.
I did think of the mention wrench. I did think of that. I think I might have actually even said it on TV.
All
the
right,
other day.
so that's a good idea.
Yeah,
Hit
let
Let
us
us
up.
know what
hit
you
us
think,
up.
guys.
Damn. Hit us up on Twitter at Sims and Lefkoe and let us know what combination, what nickname, if you want. Just keep in the mensch. Keep in the mensch or make it something like
and
the
let
law
us know
firm.
if you've ever heard of a deli called Howard and Cohen, okay? Because I'd like to know if that actually exists in America.
You know, it's where you get your locks
He
and your
said
cream
it
cheese.
so confidently, like, there's definitely one.
The one thing that I thought was super impressive about those guys was Jordan Howard multiple times was holding his shoulder and he
Yeah.
looked like he was really hurt. Kyle Long came out and said there's nobody tougher than Jordan Howard. They call it juice. When a guy like that walks in the huddle, you've got some juice.
Yeah. He's a beast, man.
And to me, Kyle Long is like one of those really tough guys. If he's giving a running back a compliment,
You know it.
yeah.
Kyle Long is the sole reason I would say that's why they whooped ass last week.
Really?
Kyle Long, when he gets in the lineup, that offensive line goes from being like, around the top 10 area to now he's healthy, that it's definitely one of the 5 best offensive line in football.
I'm gonna be honest.
I put him on my all-22 team.
Did you?
A lot of the big runs from this past week that I saw in football. First of all, your center, Kelsey.
Jason Kelce.
I mean, he was the star of the game on the offensive
what I
line.
heard.
Every big play was because of him. And then, yes, the Bears
Long.
offensive line. Sorry, Kyle
No,
Long.
Kyle Long.
Yeah. Their O-line has just got a rare combination of being able to block a team like Pittsburgh. They're athletic enough.
This
They don't.
Thursday night football game is going to be really interesting.
No, it's going to be
Bears,
close.
Packers,
It's going to
really
be close.
close.
Again, I would like to state to everybody out there, the Bengals are better than the Green Bay Packers. Go through these positions. Did we do this yet?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
We did it on Monday's show.
Go through the positions. If you go through the positions, I know you might have not been there. Cincinnati had the better secondary. Cincinnati has the better front four.
Yep.
The offensive line, it's close. In that game, Cincinnati's O-line was better because they weren't hurt. Running backs. I mean,
Yeah,
it's,
But is there one position that Green Bay is
yeah,
better
one
at?
day. One.
Which one is it?
Yeah, you know.
Okay.
Right.
Yep. All right. Article
Aaron
1.
Rodgers
Look at the
is
Constitution.
the greatest quarterback I've ever seen.
All right, so you brought up the Eagles and Jason Kelce.
Yeah.
Apparently, Carson Wentz was mic'd up during the game.
Oh, I
so
heard
good.
it. Yeah.
Okay, so Jake Elliott was lining up to kick the field goal, 61-yard field goal. He's missed 2 field goals already this season.
Right.
And on the sideline, Carson's like, come on, Big Four. Come on, you could do it. And he looks at a linebacker and goes, if he makes this, I'm going to give him my game check. And the linebacker's like, what, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Drills it, and an incredible celebration ensues. This gets posted. This is the difference between now and 5 years ago, where we wouldn't see this until NFL films like 5 years later.
They did, though, this week. It was on the Showtime show last night. So go ahead.
And what's crazy about our society now is it's immediately like, well, Carson, you've got to pay him your game check. You have to do this right now. And I'm sitting there going, this is crazy.
It is
but
crazy.
Apparently, he tweeted out today, Jake Elliott, I'm going to take care of you. Torrey Smith tweeted out and said, yo, man, you do not need to pay him that. Carson Wentz, it'd be like a $31,000 game check. One, would you pay if you were caught?
Carson Wentz's paycheck is $100,000. The
For a
Kickers is $30,000.
No, I think Carson's is a lot less than that.
No,
you're probably right.
I am right. I know I am.
All right, but do you believe that if you got caught mic'd up, would you pay?
I would have never said that. Just to let you know right now, there's no effing way. First of all, like the bet's void. It is $31,000. Are you
yes,
sure?
According to ESPN.com.
Okay. Man, I thought I saw a number that different than that earlier today. Either way, I think the thing I would look at is he didn't say it to him. It wasn't like they shook on it.
Exactly.
Okay, so now anything that comes out of your mouth, we got to pay up. I can come up with a lot of people on the internet that didn't do.
But we have video evidence.
Right. Okay. I know. Still, I don't even care. I mean,
so now that, because you know the kicker is going to be like, hey, Carson, like, don't worry about it, man.
Yeah.
Like,
well, yeah. It's been made a thing. He probably didn't say anything to Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz will probably write him a nice $20,000 check.
$20,000.
I think he might.
So then why not give him 31?
I don't know, because maybe
I'm taking him out to a nice steak dinner.
Man, I don't know where I saw that. Are you sure about that?
I mean, I'll check again.
Check
He
again.
literally pulled it up, and it was right in front of
It
your
was
face.
ESPN. I don't check that. I don't believe them.
Are you allowed to do that, though? Are you allowed to motivate players by, like, offering up your game checks? Like, could that be an issue?
Well, that's the whole point of Bountygate. Right. I mean, so first of all, yes, guys sometimes in the locker room.
How out of line this is being taken.
Well,
Mike Garafolo, 31,764.
all right.
Is that better? You good?
All right. That will be okay. Okay, good. Fine. I guess so. Sure. All right. My point being, sorry, I just want to make sure I swear I read it. But either way, that will go on in the locker room a lot, especially with the older veteran guys. Like if an older veteran guy who's made a ton of money and somebody gets some bullcrap personal foul or a legal
it's more
hit,
paying for penalties.
they might, like a cool veteran might put like the cash in their locker and be like, here's, $10,000.
You've seen that happen before?
Yeah, I have seen it happen. And then the other thing that will happen too is, yes, the whole Bountygate thing, that's what I mean. It used to go on everywhere in the NFL. It was a way to like get camaraderie
but it's
throughout the
okay
team.
for positive things like making a field goal, not for trying to knock a quarterback out of a game.
Yeah, well, I was a part of some conversation where it was, yes.
Okay.
Where the night before the game, okay, the coach would go, okay, what's going on? What do you got? And, a guy would I'll give $1,000 for whoever gets an interception. And, coach will write it on the board. $1,000, this guy said, for interception. I'll give,
And it's on the board.
It's on the board. I'll give $5,000 for sack fumble. Okay, on the board. And then you might have some crazy guy. I'll give $10,000 if you knock out the quarterback. And it was always understood to be like, we're not trying to break legs.
Yeah.
Yes. Nobody's that fucked up in the NFL.
If the interception or the fumble recovery happened during the game, was everybody like, oh, man, you owe him $1,000?
The teams I was a part of, like, it always hit. Like, because it went on more than 1 week a year. So it was almost just part of the culture. Like, oh, okay, I'm the linebacker.
But what would the reaction
be
when the interception
Nobody
happened?
even talked about it.
It would just be after the fact.
Monday, though, things like that would get figured out.
Have you ever had anyone with you?
No, I never had one.
I imagine it's different with the quarterback. It's not going to be like, hey, Chris, if you throw a touchdown on Sunday.
Yeah, no. And everybody's like, man, fuck you. You're quarterback. You get paid way too much money anyway.
Spoiled ass
Yeah, right. No, the quarterback usually had to be the guy that had to raise his hand first to give out money to the rest of the team.
And because Bleacher Report has the best fucking app that money doesn't even need to buy because it's free. The Bleacher Report app downloaded in the store has just alerted me that Carson Wentz donates portion of his game check to charity of kicker Jake Elliott's choice.
Oh, okay. That's nice.
I am annoyed if I'm Jake Elliott.
Well, maybe he told him to do that. But
hey, you know what? The charity, I'd like to do the Jake Elliott Home Fund, where I might add a living room and or an extension.
Biggest checks I ever saw written out to anybody. Okay.
Good hook.
Keyshawn Johnson lost $30,000 in AC Ducey on the back of the plane once to Corey Ivy.
Was it paid up or was that an issue?
Oh, no, it was paid up because Keyshawn was rich as shit, so everybody's going to make sure he paid up. And then what was the other one I was going to say? There was one. I saw Cadillac Williams gave Torrey Cox, I believe, $64,000 for the number 24. Yeah, I might be off by a few thousand here. It was like 60,000 because I know
regrets that now?
I know Tarik Cox. Well, that was before rookie salary cap, so he made a
got
shitload
like a
of money.
$50 million rookie contract.
Right, he had like $20 million the first year.
And you have always talked about the story of who was the guy that lost all the money in poker in Denver?
Yeah, the running back.
I know.
I'm blanking on his name.
Starts with an L.
Yeah, played for the Raiders, played for the
Jets.
LaMont Jordan.
LaMont Jordan.
Thank you.
I don't remember
man.
what episode that was, but talking poker with the Broncos and
Man,
LaMont Jordan.
he owed me $18,000, and I had to be that annoying guy to be like, "You owe me money for that poker game. Can I get that, please?"
Hey, Chris, you didn't throw it to me in the flat. I'll throw it to you when you give me that $18,000.
Oh, I had everybody. I became the spokesman for everybody he owed. Like Brandon Stokely.
He was like the debt collector.
He was. Brandon Stokely would be like, you're kind of good to everybody on the team. Yeah, dude, he owes me money too. Can you? I mean, I had to call him up, be like, hey, you owe me money. You owe Brandon Stokely money.
That's amazing. All right, give Big Phil a call.
Let's get him on the line.
Ready. Big Phil, this segment is brought to you by nobody. But if you'd like it to be brought to you by, hit us up. This is called Phil in Time. Fendrick is going to call Big Phil. The first thing I'm going to ask him about is he ready to rant?
Well, have fun with him with that. Because, yeah.
I love this. This makes me so happy.
Do move your phone again.
It's a few minutes early. Oh,
Big Phil, how are you?
Hey, what's we got going on here?
What's we got going on here? Phil, are you ready to rant?
No rant today. I'm in a good mood.
I'm curious, what do you think about internet videos? Are most of them rants?
Internet videos, what do you mean?
I was making fun of you because, I was saying, some of the things you said to me, like, I can't rant every week. I don't have enough stuff. And I just, I was making fun of you just saying how this is just a radio show, except we could say crazier shit than normal.
Yeah, I got you. Okay. Are we going now?
We go live, buddy. That's why we save it for the podcast.
Man, you got to tell me we're on. I could have said something and go, I don't care what you're on. If nobody listens to you, I still could have gotten in trouble.
Well, don't worry. We have last editing rights here. That's why we have the mother hen is in the middle here, and he'll protect you.
Yeah, we'll shut it down. Don't worry.
Let me tell you this, Adam. So I talked to my son earlier today, and I said, hey, how about this? And he goes, shut up. Don't just tell me on the air or whatever.
Save it for the podcast.
Save it for the podcast. It's now in the Constitution.
I know, but what's happened since then and now, I forgot what I was going to talk about.
It happens.
So, you can't do that to you. When you get over 60, man, these thoughts go in your head. They go out quick.
They go out quick. All right,
my rant is just, whatever. You ruined it.
Oh, thanks.
I'm going to rant about my children. Oh, I've never done that before, Adam. Oh, no.
All right, I have.
So what do we want to talk about? Lots of stuff to talk about.
Yes.
All
right, hold on.
Let me start off first.
When you play them,
Hold on. Let Adam talk and act like a host.
I'm the host.
Sorry.
All right, so first we have an iTunes comment from AFR0508, and he says, forget about all those other crappy podcasts. This is the best one. Big Phil is the best new segment ever. Can we convince him to be the next Giants head coach? Big Phil, what do you think?
No.
And we're done.
I can't do it. I couldn't put up with it. I couldn't put up with today's players, the atmosphere, all those things. Look, I played in a league for 15 years. That's the league that I kind of remember. And to go in there and change completely what I know and what I learned, it would be impossible to do.
What would be the biggest thing that you would want to say to players today that you don't think you'd be able to say?
Oh, my gosh. You can't say anything, can you? I mean, you're not allowed to coach them too hard because they'll get mad. And, it upsets them. Coach is not in touch with what we are and who we are. I don't know. Hey, I'll never forget Dan Reeves. Can imagine his speech now. He was brought in as a new head coach of the New York Giants my last year. He walks in the room. We're all sitting in there, and we're wondering, okay, what's going to go on? He walks in, takes his yellow notepad, throws it on the lectern, and he says, sit up straight, put your feet on the floor, and take those damn hats off. And I just went, we're going to win. And that was it. It was great. I mean, man, I sat up to attention, and I was like, oh, my gosh, this guy means business, and it was really awesome. And, that's old school, but That's what I like.
Well, you've always said. I mean, and for the young people out there, I mean, Parcells. You always thought your first name was Fuck, right? For a long time, because you're like, damn. I didn't know.
I never said that. I said my first name began with an F and not a P.
Oh,
I had
right.
to come check my birth certificate to see, because I was effing Sims for 8 years.
Fucking
Sims.
Effing Sims.
Oh my God. Oh, this and that. Oh, no matter what. Once I actually said to Bill, I said, hey, Coach. I mean, come on, just admit it. I played a pretty good game or whatever yesterday or something like that. And as soon as I said it, I go, that's the dumbest thing I ever said to him. And he goes, son, it disappoints me to think that my expectations for you are greater than the ones that you have for yourself.
Oh, man.
And then he walks away from me. And I'm like, come back here. I want to. So Bill was the greatest psychological manipulator in the history of the game. That's what he was great at. He could work the room and get everybody on edge. And I'd watch him during the week. He'd be over in the corner of the locker room talking to somebody. Oh boy, he's giving them the lesson. And he would tweak guys like Lawrence. A couple times a year. He couldn't do it too often, but he knew how to do it.
So you were a quarterback that obviously had an incredible career. You're in our Constitution now. Phil Simms needs to be in the Hall of Fame. It's amazing. I'm curious. Big Ben, Carson Palmer, Joe Flacco, Drew Brees, Eli Manning. These guys have all had long careers, but I kind of get the feeling from you that their teams are in some interesting situations.
Well, I think, look, I hate to go to these assumptions early in the year, but that's what we do. You think about situations. It's all going to depend on this, their play and where it ends up at the end of the year. You think of Carson Palmer. If they don't go to the playoffs this year, the Arizona Cardinals, do you think they're going to reload again with Carson Palmer next year or try to?
No way.
And Bruce Arians? I can't see that. You look at Drew Brees down in New Orleans. Okay, Drew Brees making a lot of money. He's had an unbelievable career and all that. But the last year of his contract, Sean Payton, how many years can they not go to the playoffs and have success before they decide, you know what, we got to start something over here? So, and then, that also holds true, I think, for the Baltimore Ravens. Even Joe Flacco, even though he's younger, he's in a situation, they're not having success. They haven't been that good on offense. Not that they really build around Joe Flacco, but it's all the money. Where do you go? Is John Harbaugh, is his job in jeopardy? I hate to talk about these things early, but after the year, you have to see, because it's a group of many things that make up that decision, and I just think we got quite a few players that are in it. Phillip Rivers, out in, I almost said San Diego, out in L.A., hey, if they don't go to the playoffs, they have a bad year, what do? You passed on some true franchise quarterbacks this year.
Well, I've said on here that there was always the rumor in the NFL that they wanted Deshaun Watson, and I wonder if they are thinking about that now as they're in this 0-3 hole.
Well, I know this: if they watched Deshaun Watson play last week against the New England Patriots, they really regret it. And I'm not going to base everything on one game, but that was a pretty good-looking game for a rookie quarterback to play up there and to do what he did against the New England Patriots. So, and I don't know if this rookie class coming out this year, I know there's a lot of hype. They're going to be about the quarterbacks. My first thought is it won't be as good as the group that we just saw come out.
Right.
I think the three that we're talking about are all franchise quarterbacks that came out this past year.
Trubisky, Watson, and Mahomes.
Yes, those three.
Right.
I mean, you know why? Undeniable talent.
Right.
That's it. The rest of it we don't know about until we see. So we're not privileged to information. Hey, how smart are they? Do they communicate? Do they have a presence to them? All this stuff. When you watch them in person, do you go, hey, that's what I want in a pro quarterback? Because no matter what you say, and we all talk about, my one question about Deshaun Watson was, can he drive the football down the field and throw it into tight spots? Because that's what you have to do in the NFL as a quarterback to win games. You got to make 3 or 4 of those a game to win and to be a big-time contender. And he threw some passes this past week that I'm telling you, I didn't see him throw at Clemson maybe his whole career.
Right. I just watched the film too, and we haven't even had this conversation, but that's one of the first things I wrote down. I couldn't get over it. I mean, he threw the 95-mile-per-hour fastball a bunch, and you're right. We never saw that in Clemson, and that was yours and I's biggest question about him going into the NFL.
Well, you can't throw a 95-mile-an-hour fastball until they allow you to, too. So
Right.
that's part of it.
Right.
But I did notice a difference in him. I'm sure he stands around and he's watching Tom Savage throw the ball, and I don't care what you think about Tom Savage. Warming up, he can warm up.
Right.
I mean, he can strike the football. So you kind of, all athletes look at other ones and go, oh, I like what he's doing. I wonder what. And, hey, look at
Right.
Aaron Rodgers, the way he threw the football coming out of college, holding it up like it was on a shelf on his back shoulder. Whoever – well, I won't even get into that technique.
But,
and what did he do after, a couple years in Green Bay? I see him his third year. I'm up at their training camp, and I'm talking to one of their coaches, and out of the corner of my eye, I'm watching the offense too, and I see a throw, and I go, my gosh, that was some great throw by Brett Favre. And then I turn and watch the field, and I go, man, that was Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
And because he looked like Brett Favre all of a sudden, and we actually sat on the sidelines that day. I said, how do you say this to Aaron Rodgers? Aaron, you're throwing it a lot different, so it's he goes, hey, no, it's okay. I know what you're saying. I just fixed it. I'm just kind of doing everything really natural. It feels great, and this and that. I said, wow, it was really cool. So you can change in the NFL. We saw some of that with Deshaun Watson, even in 2 starts, and he has a chance just because of his physical gifts. His long arms, got big hands, I guess. He's limber. He has a chance to get to a place where he can really let the ball go and be a special thrower.
Yeah, Dad. Then the other, I never really thought about all these, but I think you're right with Palmer, Flacco, Brees, Rivers. Like if they don't end the year strong, I do think they're going to have to find a new home, and then the marriage is over. The one guy we didn't talk about though, Eli. What do you think happens to Eli?
Well, there's nothing going to happen to him because this Giants team is built right now. This is at least a 2-year window here for the New York Giants.
Okay.
Probably with salary cap.
So you
the
think
players
if they
have in place.
Right. Okay.
What's that?
I was going to say. So you think if it falls apart and they still, they end up 6-10 or 7-9, they're going to give Eli one more shot.
I do. I think they'll give everybody a shot. They're going to make a few changes, of course, but not great. I will say this: we get on Ben McAdoo. I do. I did it on TV, and I watched the Giants game. And look, the way they played the Philadelphia Eagles is the way they have to play football. And
yeah,
they got those 3 wideouts. They spread you out, and I counted. I do dumb things like this. I counted 20 slant patterns that they threw. Did you hear me? 20.
Yeah.
And they just keep doing it. And all of a sudden, Odell Beckham Jr., it's a slant go.
Right.
Or they catch the slant and they go.
Right.
And what's that do? Why are they doing this? He got rid of the ball so fast every time.
O-line.
And it's a good thing he did because the offensive line was getting pushed around, but they couldn't get to Eli. But how many times can you rush the passer as a defensive lineman?
Right.
Sooner or later, you're going to wear out. And sooner or later, these guys, and they did it many times, caught short passes and ripped off runs afterwards. And I just go, well, okay, I'm going to take back some of the things I said. I got more evidence here, and I really kind of believe that's how they're going to march forward. Because the one thing that was really evident is they're not going to run the football on a consistent basis probably the whole year.
No way.
They can't run on anyone. Big Phil, I got one more question for you. You on Inside the NFL, you work with Ray Lewis. He, after condemning all of the kneeling, he goes on and he does the 2-knee pray. I thought it was pretty incredible television to watch him like getting really upset about Shannon Sharp and then talking about how he was praying and all that. What was it like to be there watching him explain what he was doing? What was that like for you?
Well, it was unbelievable. It really was. And, I've learned a lot about Ray Lewis working with him just a few weeks we've been together. But, I always have. I mean, I talked to him so many times as a player in his career. And, I always felt like he knew – I mean, we knew each other. Let's put it that way. But sitting there and all my years in TV, and, of course, I haven't done studio that many years. I guess – well, I shouldn't say that. This might be like year 10 or 11 on Inside the NFL. But when he got done – and James Brown threw it to the next set of highlights, he got an ovation from everybody in the room. And I've never seen anything like it.
Right.
And it was really something to watch. And,
you and Boomer said what? Man, we can't. Now we know what it felt like to hear one of your pregame speeches before the game.
Well, I didn't do it right after that. I let some time go along, and then we had some fun with it or whatever because we had to break the ice and get back a little to football. And I said to him, well, the next segment after, I said, since I did not talk in that segment, and of course we couldn't. There was nothing that Boomer and I could say that we did the right thing. We kept our big mouths shut.
Right. But
the next segment, we came out and I went, well, I was just told that was one of the best things I've ever done. Great, whatever. Some of my best work where I didn't talk. And everybody, and then I did say to Ray, I said, man, all those speeches that you gave, they really came through right there, because it really was incredible. And I'm not making fun of it by no means.
Yeah.
And it's, you see speeches by players. I witnessed tons and tons of them. But I got to tell you, and I don't know if I ever said, oh, he gives a lot of speeches for the Baltimore Ravens, but I think being around him now and listening to that last night, we're talking about a whole different thing when he stands up and talks.
Right.
And that was evident last night. I've learned that about him in a short period of time. And you know what? The other thing is great. Ray Lewis is a Hall of Famer, no question.
First ballot.
He was a great linebacker, a great leader, a smart player, but it's tricky, Adam. But we can make fun of him. I just make sure when I make fun of him, I'm not real close. So. But I think that's what's really cool.
Yeah.
That Boomer and I, that we can just all just say what we want. We can do this, and that's what makes the show, I think, so cool, and that's what I love about it.
All right, big guy. That's it.
Appreciate you, Phil.
You're the man.
That's it. I had a couple other things, but we'll just have to wait till next week.
No,
Save it for
we're
the
hanging up
podcast.
on you, you big fucker.
All right,
See ya.
See ya.
See ya.
One question.
I'm glad that Phil is embracing that he doesn't get to say everything he wants to say.
Yes.
Like that he's got to wait until next week.
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
fully
Come on.
embraced.
Oh, he does. It drives him crazy that he has to wait till Sunday, and I think he's even more frustrated on Sunday because he does the pregame and halftime, and he
And
goes,
there's
"Damn,
so much he wants to talk about."
hard. I worked so hard to watch everything all week, and I got to say 10 sentences today."
One question that I wanted to ask Phil, I'm just going to ask you.
Yeah.
Brandon Merriweather was asked on who his grossest teammate was.
Right.
And his response was Larry Izzo. He used to take breakfast into the bathroom and eat while taking a dump.
Oh, that's disgusting. Larry Izzo.
That's
I've
bad.
heard a lot of stories about Larry Izzo. He's a
Really?
great dude, yes. I think Larry's maybe a special teams coach down with the Houston
Yes.
Texans now.
What else have you heard?
Well, I mean, he's just a crazy guy. First of all special teams coaches are crazy. I mean, that's just period. They're the craziest guy in the locker room, on the field. They have a great way about them.
Yeah.
Gosh, I mean, an NFL locker room is so disgusting.
But who was your grossest teammate?
My grossest teammate. Oh man, that's. I wish you would have gave me warning on this one. Can we come back to that?
Of course.
Let me let
If
it
it comes to your
ruminate for a
mind.
Take your
second.
time.
There's definitely some O linemen that are up there.
All right, so that is grossest. But in the meantime, we need to continue our best celebration of the year award. It
Yeah.
continues. This is the Week 3 ballot.
And what a week it was.
In Week 1, Stephon Diggs Millie rocked to the top of the standings. In Week 2, Kareem Hunt slept on the ball and edged him out. What a big week. We're going to start off first, the Lions curling celebration, in which one of the wide receivers rolled a ball and they scraped along, and Marvin Jones had hit him in the leg. The second one, Vernon Davis with a free throw through the uprights. We had multiple players raising their fists to the sky: Odell, Marcus Peters, Rashard Matthews, and Michael Thomas. Jadeveon Clowney with the Gronk spike after the fumble recovery for the touchdown.
Right.
And then the Odell Beckham Jr.
Ugh.
peeing like a dog.
Like a dog.
First of all, what is your winner for the week? Lions curling, Odell peeing, Clowney spiking, Vernon Davis free throwing.
It's down. I think it's Clowney spiking.
The Jadeveon Clowney Gronk spike.
I think it would be my favorite one of the week.
Number 1 for Week 3.
Yeah.
Now, does it beat Kareem Hunt sleeping on the football?
No, it does not.
And for a second week in a row, Kareem
Defending
Hunt
champ.
sleeping on the football is number 2. I should have asked your dad this. John Mara is, quote, very unhappy with Odell's pee celebration. Quote, we'll deal with it internally.
Yeah.
What do you think the punishment will be?
I don't think it's going to be anything serious. They're just going to bring him in to go, again, this is why we've pumped the brakes on giving you a long-term contract, because you're being better, you're maturing, but there's still little instances of this that we don't like. And then, of course, he wasn't really accountable to it right away after the game. He said, if I got to do something to energize the team, which, I love Odell. That was a horrible, wrong take. First of all, nobody on the sidelines is really seeing him pee. That's what people got to realize. Like, not everybody's like, oh, he scored a touchdown. Wait, let me get off the bench and see what he's going to do celebrating oh, I'm charged up now. No, they were charged up as soon as he's caught the touchdown.
Right.
And you know what the peeing also did? It erased the greatest catch of the year to this point, too, because nobody's talking about his second touchdown.
What's incredible is also erase those 2 really bad 4th down decisions by Ben McAdoo. All we're talking about is a peeing. Everybody
You're right.
is scot clear. According to the Bleacher Report app, this just came out.
Yeah.
Odell isn't done after a controversial peace celebration. Quote, going forward, I have a lot of better ones.
Okay,
Great.
good. He can do that's fine. I'm like I've said from the start, don't want to see anything with your crotch, okay?
You're not a big crotch fan.
No,
No.
twerking.
So-
You don't like the twerks.
I don't like anybody's twigs and berries being shoved in my face. Sorry.
By the way, man, the BR app is killing it. Starting O-lineman David Bakhtiari and Brian Balaga, doubtful for Thursday.
Uh-oh.
And if you're doubtful, it's like a
The
90...
Menschmen and the henchmen are coming to town.
That's not the official title. Please tweet
The
us.
law firm of the Mensch and the Hench.
I thought we agreed on the deli. Okay.
Okay. And now it is time for the MVP big board. Are you ready, Sims?
Yeah, I'm ready.
In
It's easy.
week one, Aaron Rodgers was leading the MVP. In week 2, Derek Carr overtook it. Who is number 3 for your MVP in week it's the whole season
The
up
whole
until week
season
3.
together right now.
Number 3.
Number 3 is Kareem Hunt. He's
Kareem Hunt
still
is
in the mix.
back into the top 3. He was number 3 in week 2.
Yes.
He is back to number 3. Number 2.
Number 2, Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers was number 1 in week 1, fell off in week 2, but he is back into the top 3
Yes, he
at
is.
number 2 after single-handedly willing back the Bengals, billing the Packers against the Bengals. And number 1.
You know number 1, right? You know number 1?
No.
I mean, he likes beans, not beef. He's our kind of guy, too. Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. Tom Brady makes his first appearance on the MVP chart.
He's number 1 right now, for
He
sure.
is number 1 after a 5-touchdown performance.
And the 4 touchdowns the week before that.
Yes.
He's been on point. His clutchness is just amazing. It truly is. Again, this is another conversation we were going to get into with my father a little bit. I mean, gosh, the Texans had no business being in that game. And then they got to the point where they should have won the game and closed the door on New England. And then they didn't. And you give guys like Brady and Rodgers and
Yeah.
Stafford, those 3 guys, if you don't stomp on their throat when you got them down, they're going to come back and get you.
By the way, I went back and looked, and I wrote it all down, our division winners picks and our MVPs and stuff.
Yeah.
My MVP and my Rookie of the Year are looking amazing. My MVP, I picked Brady.
Right.
My Rookie of the Year, I picked Kareem Hunt.
Right.
And you went Russell Wilson and Christian McCaffrey.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's
Whoa.
not going to happen.
Big offseason.
Whoa, big offseason. All right, let's do some Sims Films takeaway. He goes through, watches all of the games, writes it down in perfect cursive, and then I go through, try to read it, and then pick the big takeaway that I have. First off,
He's been hitting me this whole episode.
awesome.
Okay.
First off, Cutler was jumpy, didn't throw the ball well.
Oh, my gosh. Did not throw the ball at all. What happens to a lot of old quarterbacks, and I think this is, again, goes back to Brady, because Brady got hit a lot in the game, and he just said, fuck it, I'm going to keep looking downfield, and they're going to have to hit me. But Cutler, who's just getting back in the swing of things, they were getting beat up physically up front. He had people in his face early, and it affected him the rest of the game, because then he had a few times where he had clean pockets, and he was given a quick look. He got extremely jumpy, looking at who was coming, and it was like, oh, no one's there. And then, of course, you try to look upfield and make a quick decision. It can mess up your mechanics throwing the football and everything like that. Yes, he did not play a good game. He physically did not play a good game. I think that was what was concerning to me. He had some balls where I was like, I had to rewind it and go, like, damn, that ball didn't really move through the air like I've
Is
seen
this
Jay
a
Cutler.
long-term concern for you?
It's something I'm definitely going to have my eye on for next week.
Triple star. This was a triple star here.
I know I didn't give as many triple stars and lines this week, did I? Probably.
Vikings offensive diversity is the big story. No Adrian Peterson.
Yeah. I think that's when I was just watching the game. I was going like, why? What has really changed about this offense? And I know we've talked about the offensive line, right? And then I just went, the other thing that nobody's talking about? I mean, they've based their offense around one guy for the last 8 years, and it's kind of hurt their offense in a lot of ways, because it was always like, man, we got to feed AP. We got to feed AP. Forget getting our receivers involved in the game. And now I think with the O-line, the fact that there's really not one guy they're trying to feature. I mean, Cook is probably the one guy, but they're not going out of their way.
Thielen and Diggs.
And right, they got to they got it all. Jarius Wright, gets a few catches here and there. And then I got to give credit to a guy who I wasn't sure can do it, and that's Pat Shurmur. I mean, because he kind of always has fallen into that basic West Coast bullcrap offense, like a Green Bay, the Giants, or the Seattle Seahawks. But what they've done now is they make you defend the whole field. He does it all. I mean, it's speed reverses, it's screen, it's inside run, it's outside run, and the play action pass and intermediate pass is all great.
You're very impressed with Washington.
Yeah.
But you wrote down Chris Thompson might be the best catching back in the NFL.
Yeah, Chris Thompson, first of all, Washington has gotten better every week. That's the one thing I think that jumps out to me, where I just go, man, they're kind of hitting their strides. The things I have questions about the week before, the next week I come back, it's kind of corrected. Chris Thompson, I mean, as much as we rave about your man, Kareem Hunt, he had 5 more total yards than Kareem Hunt last week, but nobody talks about that. So he is amazing out of the backfield. He's made that another weapon to worry about. I mean, gosh, fucking threw a screen and he runs for 65 yards, and they throw a ball into the flat, and the Raiders busted the coverage, but he turns it up and gets into the end zone, and then has a few nice runs in the middle there. He's electric, man. They need, again, he is one where I'd say they need to get him a few more touches.
You were very impressed with Jason Kelsey.
Mm-hmm.
The Eagles wide receivers, you said never got open.
No.
But you wrote, the bar is so low for Eli Manning, it's comical.
Yeah, it is. I just think we're literally to the point of Eli Manning's career where we just go, oh, he wasn't horrible. I mean, he didn't lose the game for us. I mean, that's really what it is.
You're talking about fan expectations and how we evaluate Eli.
Yeah, right. Like, I mean, Eli's just not held to the standard of the other guys that are being paid in the same class as him for some reason. And of course, I guess some of that is the 2 Super Bowls, and I guess I really don't know what the rest of it. Maybe Gabe could tell you better. I just, to me, he gets somewhat of a free pass at times for the guys that are paid in his class. That's where I'm saying. I mean, again, he never makes a playoff schedule.
Ever.
He's one of the worst movers in the pocket in football.
Talk about someone that watches the rush.
Yes, he does that a ton. And yeah, so I came away and go, I mean, yeah, it's just funny. And he had a solid day, don't get me wrong, but it was what do I want to say? Chalk. I mean, it was just, slant's open, I'm going to throw the slant.
Right.
Oh, it's not open, then we're going to get a sack, or I'm going to throw it away.
In the Chicago-Pittsburgh game, Ryan Shazier popped again, but the big note that I took away was Bears O-line is beyond impressive, tremendous athleticism, allowed to block all the crazy blitzes, which you talked about earlier.
Yeah, it really was the thing that jumped out to me about the game, because what can happen when you play with the Pittsburgh Steelers is all their movements, their stunts, their creative blitzes, it just creates chaos for the offensive line. They're just like, oh, which way did he go? Which way did he go? And they have a rare combination, especially when Grossu's on there as the center. They hit a little dead spot for a little bit when they had to put Cody Whitehair at center. But when they have Long and Whitehair at guard with Grossu at center, and then you got Massey and the guy Leno at left tackle, man, that is an impressive group that can do just about any run blocking scheme, and they were amazing in the game.
Speaking of offensive line, you wrote, Seattle's offense sucks. So simple, and O-line still finds way to fuck it up. Where is the game plan? To this, we have 2 iTunes comments, one from Lance from Italy. Best NFL podcast, how many games does the O-line need to lose for the Hawks before Tom Cable and or Darrell Bevel are fired?
Whew.
It's that bad.
It's horrible. I mean, it's beyond horrible. I don't even know really what to say. I mean, I guess the big thing is, yeah, to me, I just want to go, you have 2 running plays. So I don't care what defense they run, you should be able to go, oh, we know how to block this against this defense because we only run 2 plays on our side. And that's the point of being simple, right? To go, oh, well, we're simple, but we do this really good, and we're all on the same page no matter what the defense does. And that's not the case. I don't know how long it's going to take. We've been telling everybody out there that they stink since 2015, but nobody wants to hear it. And
you were very high on them preseason, though, correct?
I was. There's no
They were
doubt.
my Super Bowl team.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I'm sitting there. I mean, that's why I picked Russell Wilson MVP, too.
Yeah.
But no, there's no game plan. And again, don't be fooled by the stats. The stats, I mean, Russell threw for 180 yards in the 4th quarter. The game, I mean, Tennessee was in prevent mode. They were up 30-14. They were just going, we're just not going to let you score quick. Go ahead, drive it down, and then we'll run the ball. You can drive it down again. So it's all misleading.
And J. May Rock You on iTunes also thought the officiating was out of of control in the Seahawks game and that he felt like it was unfair almost for his Seattle team.
It was. Seattle gets a little bit of the Odell Beckham treatment. Like, if they do anything, the referees are all over them because they're like, well, I've seen him on TV and he's bad, so if anything happens with him in it, we're going to throw the flag on him. I mean, we talked about it a little on Monday. The Richard Sherman thing, the pass interference call.
Yeah,
that
he was there and Decker ran into
my
him.
gosh, it was the most fucking amazing coverage of the week. I mean, he was all over it. He read the shallow crosser, and I'm sure through his scouting, he goes, man, when they run a shallow crosser and there's only one receiver on the backside, he's going to run the in cut, and he ran to the in cut, and Decker broke in, and Richard Sherman was there, and they called pass interference on Richard Sherman. So, yeah, they were a benefit. There was another call, too, that I wanted to say that was really – I'm trying to look through my notes right now, but I don't know. But that was a bad one.
You also wrote in terms of defenders that Jerry Hughes is still an awesome pass rusher for Buffalo.
He is. He's really the only guy that stands out to me on that front four. Like, Marcel Darius didn't play this week, right?
It's unreal they beat Denver without Marcel Darius or Cordy Glenn.
Yeah, it is unreal. And I can get into that game if you want, because I did watch it this morning if you want to get all over it. But regardless, Jerry Hughes, Shaq Lawson, solid. Your man Cedric Thornton that used to play in the Eagles, solid. They got a lot of solid. They don't have any difference makers. And Jerry Hughes is the one guy, when you turn on the film, you go, ooh, man, who is that fast fucker running around the edge? I mean, he's got legit pass rush ability.
Jerry Hughes got himself into a little bit of a discussion out there up in Buffalo.
Oh, right.
Jim Kelly wants the Bills to stand for the national anthem and the flag. Said he lost a lot of respect for Michelle McCoy. I will never do that. I will always stand. Jerry Hughes said, look, we are the 2017 Buffalo Bills. If you want to come and talk to us, we can use the encouragement. Help us. You're dividing us, the team that doesn't work. Why is he on the sidelines? It almost, to me, has the old Miami college football vibe, where it's current players living up to the expectations of former players. And I've always found it weird. This is an out of Lefkoe Field. I've always found it weird when former players, we see this with Eric Dickerson, criticize current players and put more pressure on the team because they want to be around the team.
Right.
I don't think it's always great when the former players are there. And to me, it's like when you're in college and the alumni comes back,
Right.
You had your time.
Well, this is what happens at the low-level NFL teams, right? Think about it. You just said Dickerson. Oh, the Rams. LaDainian Tomlinson, the Chargers, right? These ones that are going, man, they were kind of the face of our franchise, and they're so notifiable next to our logo. We keep them around because it builds the tradition a little bit.
Right.
So they asked Jim Kelly to be there, I'm sure, a lot of the time, right? And, of course, he lives up in Buffalo, and he breathes, I want to say, Buffalo Bills football.
Yeah.
But I do have an issue with it. I really don't, I don't want this taken the wrong way, because Jim Kelly is awesome.
Yes.
I love him. But I'm going to say this because I've said this to everybody all week. You can't sit here and blame the players right now unless, when it was Charlottesville weekend, you sat there and blamed the president. I don't want to hear it. Like Matt Light's doing the same thing up in New England.
What's he doing?
I'm never been so disrespected by the Patriots. I've never been ashamed. Were you ashamed to be an American when our president said the people holding Nazi flags and the Confederate flag didn't say anything? I mean, they basically brought a flag against a country we had a war with that said we would like to
the Nazi flag.
Discriminate. I mean, extinguish races, right? And then there's the Confederate flag, which again is anti-government. Abe Lincoln was the Republican. I mean, all I hear is the greatest Republican president ever. This was the Confederacy being anti-government, and there's those people carrying around these flags and yelling, I hate Jews and I hate the N-word, and we have all the evidence of the world, and he calls black people who are kneeling on the sidelines peacefully sons of bitches, but says there's a lot of good people on the other side. And I have a lot of issue with that, and until you come out and really condemn that part of the story hard, don't come and condemn the players. I don't want to hear it. You're speaking out of both sides of your mouth there. The ultimate leader in our world and our country is the president right now. He doesn't just get a free pass because he's the president. Sorry. All right, I'm done.
Good. All right, let's do some more out of Lefkoe Field.
Oh, he's got his hat.
And I got
There's the hat.
There's the hat. First one, Dat Win owns and runs a Chick-fil-A out of Lefkoe Field. All NFL players should buy 5 chain restaurants and set themselves up for the rest of your life.
It's a pretty,
right?
I mean, it's a good idea. You're
Go
right.
buy some McDonald's. Like, fast food ain't going nowhere. Go buy
Panthers,
some
get some
Chick-fil-A.
Bojangles.
Yes.
Chipotle.
And then you're set for life.
Right,
Don't invest in an app, okay?
Yeah.
Invest in a chain restaurant.
That's a good dude. That's good for him.
To go off of that, you shouldn't eat at chain restaurants. This one was sent to me by TieChap95. It's an article in the CBC. Sports drinks and energy drinks are unhealthy for kids and teens, says Canadians' pediatricians. Sports drinks are high in sugar, contributes to obesity epidemic.
Right.
The vast majority of children should hydrate with water, says Dr. Catherine Pound.
Yep.
Kids are seeing their heroes, these wonderful athletes, and they want to be like them. Sidney Crosby actually needs these drinks. Your average child doesn't. You literally said that 2 months ago.
Yes, it's a
You don't need Gatorade, kids.
no,
Just drink
you
your
don't.
water.
And if you want to drink Gatorade, fine, drink it. Drink something else that's healthier. First of all, again, Gatorade. If you really look at it, some of their drinks have flame retardant in it. Okay, they're not healthy. Sorry. So
that also means your stomach won't get heartburn, right?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But yeah, that's it's good for that doctor to come out and say that. I mean, sugar drinks, if you want to drink a sugar drink while you're competing and you're sweating a lot on a hot day,
Like an amino acid or something.
there's
a little
fine.
bit.
I can understand that.
But you don't need a whole drink of it.
I see kids all around in my hometown in Old Greenwich, wherever I may be. It's kids want to drink Gatorades, kids want to drink around Cokes and ginger ales, and it's crap. You can't do it.
What do you got for me, Josh?
I was just going to say, there was an article written several years ago that Gatorade had pulled the ingredient linked to flame retardants from their drinks.
Okay,
So
that's good.
just like to do a little self-scouting.
Yeah, good.
Just
Good
Still
job.
Still a self-scouting. All right, last one.
You're good.
Apparently, Justin Timberlake is finalizing to be the halftime performer at the Super Bowl. If you'll remember, back in 2004, he was practically banned for a what was it?
Wardrobe malfunction?
A wardrobe malfunction for Janet Jackson's
That was
breast
the
coming
Texans.
up.
That was the one at was that Carolina, New England?
It was 2004, so it would have been Carolina, New England.
Right.
This is happening in
I
the
was
same
there.
month that Janet Jackson ended her 5-year marriage and came out and said she felt like a prisoner at a Lefkoe Field. Janet Jackson should be allowed on stage. Janet Jackson didn't do anything wrong with her breast coming out. It was Timberlake who pulled the breast out. If Timberlake's coming on stage, I want Janet Jackson on stage too. Bring her up there, Timberlake, you breast exposer.
Wow, I'm shocked actually that they're letting it.
Right?
I mean,
If Timberlake's out there, Janet Jackson needs this right
because the
now.
NFL was
she
so
felt like
mad
a
that he
prisoner.
did that. It was that Super Bowl. I was at the Super Bowl. It happened. For some reason, I feel like I was in Tampa for that Super Bowl. But
Houston, Texas,
Okay.
February 1st, 2004.
Yeah.
yep, that was a good
Janet
one.
Jackson should come on stage and he should put a shirt on her.
Man, so they're
That
gonna go.
hat makes you look like a ranting
They're
lunatic.
gonna go to Timberlake on this one. Isn't there
yes.
anybody else new that we could use? I mean, he's already been there, done that.
Try to get Jay-Z.
Migos.
They don't have enough songs. You need to have a lot of songs.
There's somebody else there.
Migos gonna go on Duck Slippery. They're like, what else you got? They're like,
Taylor
nothing.
Swift wasn't available.
No. I don't want Taylor Swift. Enough. All right, so now it is time to get to some fan swagalicious.
Right.
Fendrick put it out there. Hey, if you put out 5 Twitter mentions to your friends to listen to Sims and Lefkoe, we will throw your name in the hat. It's going to be in the Out of Lefkoe Field hat, and Fendrick is going to send you a swag bag. Here are the people whose names are entered. I want to give a big old thank you to them. Josh Galindo, Sean Dooley, Howie Gresham, J.C. Patterson, Jack Farr, Ice Clown, JD Haha Yo Wait What, Noah Carey, Kenneth Green, Mark Bajan, Rush Donna Wade, and Logan Nietzsche. I almost didn't put Logan Nietzsche in there because he put Donald Trump and Des Bryant as 2 of his friends. But you know what? If Donald Trump listens to the podcast, I'm down. He needs to
won't
hear
be
what we have to
listening
say.
for much longer.
I have the names in the hat. Sims, reach in there and pick one out. Don't look.
Oh, I got one. I think I got one. All right, stop
pick-
shaking it. I already got it. Just let me fucking do it.
And the winner is...
Oh, an old staple.
Stop.
They're going to think it's rigged.
An old staple.
Who is it?
Good old Mark Bajan.
Well deserved.
And we have video evidence. You did not even look.
Nope, I did not look. It just my fingers went to the old faithful.
Wow.
You're going to have to GIF that and put it out so people don't think it was rigged.
All right, so if you entered, you can enter again next week. Here's how it goes. Josh is going to be sending Mark Bajan a swag pack. Congratulations, Mark. We will DM you for your information. But if you tweet out our podcast and say, hey, check out Sims and Lefkoe to 5 of your friends on Twitter, we will enter you for the next running. So everyone that entered, you are officially re-enter. But you have to tweet it again. 5 new people. Fendrick, you can handle that?
I can handle that. And keep tweeting the podcast to Trump if he wants to listen.
Yeah.
We're all ears.
sure. We're trying to educate him. He needs to learn. Hey, there was also a hurricane in Puerto Rico. I don't think he knows about it yet.
You're probably right. KJ Latcheld hit us up and said, where would Prime Sims see himself versus modern quarterbacks? Top 15, top 25? And
Phil or Chris?
You, Chris. And which 2 quarterbacks would you be between?
Oh, gosh. All right. Let me pull up the list.
Pull up the teams.
First of all,
Would you be top 15, top 20?
Prime Sims. All right, just if I had to give myself self-scout, all right, I was a better athlete than people realize. It was actually the number one thing said to me on all 3 teams I was in. I would get there and they go, man, you move better than I thought. And of course, I could really throw it. Gosh, I hate doing this. I don't know. Prime Sims had big talent.
Were you better than Andy Dalton?
Yes.
Okay.
But I mean, what's that mean? So what? It doesn't matter. I didn't get to prove it.
Were you better than Matt Stafford?
No, I'm not going to say that. But I had.
Are you better than Marcus Mariota right now?
In Prime Sims, well, not running, but throwing, yes. Yes, Prime Sims, I could do things with the ball.
Kirk Cousins.
Yes, I could do things throwing the ball that he couldn't do.
Which quarterback in the NFL right now is the closest PPC to what you were in your prime?
Oh, gosh.
Remember, at the Combine, Marcus Mariota was the one that was put up on a screen
Me and
with
Aaron
you.
Rodgers, right? Which was funny, which I loved.
Yeah, they put up Marcus Mariota with Chris Sims and Aaron Rodgers.
You're saying the one that I would be closest to?
Who's the closest comparison to you?
Gosh. All right. Hold on. I'm giving it a good look here. Honestly, I was probably a.
You could be a cross.
Yeah, like a poor man's version of a Carson Wentz almost, I feel like. Wow. That's the guy that reminds me of me at times. If I feel like if I would have got to just play a little more and got that to that point where I could just go, man, the team's mine. Now I can really let it go, right? That's what I'm always jealous of Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, right? When you win a Super Bowl early in your career, man, if you throw a 3-interception game, everybody's like, doesn't matter. He's won a Super Bowl.
That's all right, Flacco.
It takes the pressure off you and allows Russell Wilsons and the Tom Brady's at a young age to go, I can kind of take a chance every now and then because I got that Super Bowl in the bank.
All right, so I want to do one quick Falcons fan email that we got, Twitter email. We've had a Falcons fan that's been kind of coming at us hard for the last few weeks.
The Falcons fans have been very angry on Twitter.
Yeah.
Very. But because of that, we had a message sent to us, and I was very, very much appreciative. If you could find the guy's name who sent it to us, Fendrick.
Yep, I'm on it. Do you have the message?
I do have the message.
Okay.
He wrote to us and said, I'm so proud of you guys. The game we love is still a game, a 60-minute escape. However, discrimination and equality occurs 24/7. I would like to see this as no longer referred to as politics. This is life or death. This is a plea for help. He continues to say later on, I have broken down in tears multiple times because it feels like America has turned its back against us. I am an Iraq and Afghanistan vet. I have served my country. I have lost friends. I have tangled with bullets, rockets, mortars, and IEDs. And I want to say this loud and clear. I am equally proud of these players as I am of our troops. They are both fighting for our country and our Constitution. I encourage those who take exception to players taking a knee to focus on why there is protest and not how the protest is being done. Again, I'm so proud of you guys. You all deserve every accolade, and I have the utmost respect for your courage, or even make this a talking point. Keep fighting the good fight. Best damn podcast, period. Rise up.
45 Problems at What You Chatting About.
Appreciate it. That was awesome.
So that made me feel
and
really
it
good.
It makes me feel really good, first of all, that a guy that's come at us, right?
Yes.
And I think have been somewhat respectful back in our responses to hopefully hear our side of why we haven't been totally on the Atlanta Falcons bandwagon. But again, it's just good to hear a guy that can give us criticism. We're not
Yes.
going to abandon chip on you, and you can take it back a little too.
So we actually got a 4-star comment this week, and I usually don't read them, but it says, used to love you guys, never Panera again. And he says, I really do enjoy the dynamic. However, lately it seems like you guys are spending more of your time talking about topics like mainstream media, like politics and all this stuff. Maybe I should switch podcasts. I'm not ignorant of social and political issues. I just hear enough everywhere else. I come to you for true in-depth football analysis. I want you guys to understand that it's the number one topic in football right now, but also we've been waiting until later in the podcast. And on Monday, we explicitly said we were going to talk about it so that we can give you football talk. And then if you didn't want this stuff, because I understand it's everywhere right now, that you could prepare it and you could hit that 15-second skip until we're done it. I just want you to know that there's a burden when you have a microphone in front of your face where when something happens and you see people either you disagree with or you think that are not being talked about the right way, you want to speak for what is right. And when I get comments like that from a veteran who thinks that he wasn't expecting it out of us and we did exactly what he wanted, that to me means...
Yeah, we get more of those than the other one.
Yeah,
so.
We don't get a lot of people telling us not to speak up. I apologize that it's not what you expect out of us, that you want your football X's and O's. I also know, though, you're getting 85% of football X's and O's, and when it's time to talk about it, we are going to talk about it.
And again, I just would say, I don't mean to stop, but if you want to interject on us, then please tweet the president and please tell him to stop talking about football, okay? Because the rules are the rules. We're not allowed to talk. I mean,
every football game right now is starting with it. We need to comment on it because if not, then we're being ignorant and we're not talking about the biggest topic in the NFL right now. All right.
Can I say one more thing? I'd like to actually start this. This is what I want to do for our podcast because I was thinking about this. What do the players do from here, right? The players got to stop kneeling for the national anthem because it is becoming divisive in itself, right?
Well, now it's like the arm lock, and the fans are going to arm lock.
Can we have people tweet at us, like, what's the right way to do it? Like, what is the right way? Let's figure out a way to maybe push forward into the national mainstream and go, this is what players should do. Should the NFL let every team that has a home game during the week that you get a 30-second commercial where Odell Beckham Jr. or whoever it is in New York, or you go to Philadelphia and they get to do a 30-second commercial and tell you about the social issues that are bothering NFL players or what's going on in the world? Does it become the Browns way with the big board thing before the game where they get to say, like, to me, that's where we have to go with this because we are the Players Podcast,
yes.
And I don't want people to hate the players. I don't. So we have to find a way for them to further this conversation without hurting themselves so we can expand on it.
I love it. All right. Tweet us, and then also leave a 5-star review on iTunes. Let's get back to that because I 1,000% read all of those, and we will make sure to see what are some solutions for the players to get their messages out. Let's get to some fun stuff. First one ever, best thing to ever happen to sports talk, the one LJ Smith. If you're not listening, you're a brain-dead shell who is going to, quote, lose all your fancy foosball friends. Ow! I don't know what that meant.
The LJ Smith, I mean, is that the old tight end for the Eagles?
Yeah, I don't think that's
I used to work out with him.
You mean Rutgers Scarlet Knights, baby?
This one's from
LJ.
Spencer123. Is it just me, or does producer Josh totally look like the nerd from the movie The Internship?
Oh, the nerd from the movie.
And I have a picture, but I know that Fendrick's going to pull it up.
I usually get McLovin.
This guy.
Let me see.
I mean,
a little.
Dark
He's got your frames, and he does kind of look like a nerd.
Yeah, I get McLovin more often.
I think it's for all you out there. Just Google Ali Haji Sheik, and that'll be.
However, you're gonna Giants kicker Ali Haji Sheik.
That's who his twin is, right there.
You guys are the best. Kareem,
hey,
Carl Muffin the 7th. Hey team, I have to say your discussion what the NFL really is unmatched. Love what you do with the player's perspective. How did you leave Jordy Nelson out of the White Boy Supreme conversation?
He's right. How did we leave him out of there? He's one of the original White Boy Supremes.
Is he the ultimate White Boy Supreme?
He's up in that conversation.
He's not shifty.
He's
but
not.
I know it's an annoying thing to say about white wide receivers, but Jordy is deceptively fast.
No, he's legitimately fast. You're exactly right because when
he has such a smooth running motion that he doesn't look fast.
Yes.
I know it's bad to call white receivers deceptively fast. He is fast.
Yeah, he is fast.
He just is such a smooth runner. I've watched him burn Aqib Talib in college.
No, I think it's really fair because he was drafted. Even when he was drafted, I mean, I was in the NFL.
He's gritty.
Early in my career, I was coaching with the Patriots, and people would always say that around the NFL, like, oh, he's not fast enough. And what happened is basically people started covering him man-to-man. It was always funny to me to see the top corner on the other team cover him man-to-man, and they thought they could be aggressive with him, and then he would run by them, and then they were like, oh, shit, like, he can really run. I got to back off a little bit. I always kind of enjoyed that, especially in his prime. He can't run like that anymore.
That conversation was a microcosm for Article 3, Section 1, I believe, which is that Adam always cuts Sims off. I'm going to play that exchange back next week when we read the Constitution. It was perfect.
Was it really?
It was good. Yeah, it was good. All right, next question.
Damn it. The Thompson Football Podcast Entertainment. This is from Rad's Rough. If you're somebody who's open-minded and isn't afraid of hearing opinions that are much likely different than your own, this is a great podcast. Sims gives you an in-depth, behind-the-scenes feel because he used to be an NFL quarterback and can teach you something new.
Nice, Sims.
Lefkoe comes off as that uncle you have that's extremely into the current youth culture and shows up to the family barbecue saying, "It's lit," as you cringe.
So dope.
But it's not a bad thing as you love him anyway, and he's always a good time. Lefkoe is vital in the show and is a bridge for the more casual fan to maybe not be overwhelmed. He's personal, charismatic, and pairs up amazingly with Sims. Josh is just kind of the cherry on top, and he adds that little bit of extra depth to the commentary.
Aww.
I think Josh represents the people in the show.
Oh, cute little Josh.
All right.
If only he could stop ditching it for meetings.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's
Overall,
right.
great podcast, amazing football insight, no bullshit. You have every reason to give it a shot.
Great review.
Man, if you check out Josh with his 2 buttons unbuttoned up top.
And that is it, everybody.
Johnny chest hair.
That has been the long edition, the old Thursday edition of the
Wasn't
Sims
even
and
that
Lefkoe
long.
podcast.
No, we did it in under an hour and a half.
I've been really keeping it tight.
Yeah.
And that music
Right on
means
cue.
it's almost time. You know what? Let me do this really quick. Thursday night, before we're not going to do the gambling. That'll be on the Friday show, unfortunately. Chicago, Green Bay. Would you be willing to pick a winner?
Oh, I'm going to pick Green Bay only because of Aaron Rodgers, but that game is going to be close. I don't know. What's the spread? Do you want to know? I mean, I'm going to guess Green Bay's favored by 6.
If it's less than that, you'll go Green Bay. If it's more than that, you'll go Bears.
Man, if it's even at 6, I think that's a lot. Like, I don't think that they're going to sit
The
there.
Packers have beaten the Bears 13 straight times.
Packers minus 7.5.
Ooh, man, yeah.
That's a Bears pick.
I would go with Bears. The thing that's scary there, this game will be close, but what's always scary in this kind of game is the Bears can stay close, the Packers can be up by 3, and then
one
Aaron makes
touchdown.
one amazing play with 3 minutes
Missing
left,
both
and you
tackles.
lose by 10.
All right, so you're going to
Right.
go Packers win, but Bears cover.
Yeah, I'm going to say like 20-17 type.
I'm going to use that for my picks tomorrow.
Of course you are.
For Sims,
Peace out, homies.
for Fendrick,
Good night, everybody.
I'm the Lefkoe man, and we will holler at you guys. Pick show coming up. Love y'all. Talk to you soon.